I didn't get the memo of I didn't have to wear a sport coat today. So, but that's all right. I gotta change my game a little, I guess. Excited, just like everybody. Excited for today. It's obviously a great time of year. It's really cool to get the texts and the messages from all the kids that have signed and committed and their families, just to see the excitement from them. Talking to them the last couple of days before they commit. Just it really gets you rejuvenated. For us, it's that time of year you run to that little bit of a lull because we're in our 8-hour phase. You don't see your team as much. You're doing a lot of recruiting, so really excited for the additions we added today. For the future here with the 5 kids that we've committed and have signed here today. First, I guess we're going to go alphabetically. Ava Chavrria, geez, I'm going to say her name wrong. Ava Chavrria, she's from Chula Vista, California. She's a catcher, first baseman, very athletic, plays libero, so I think in volleyball. So she's just had her senior day the other day, so I know that I'm excited to kind of jump more into softball after volleyball. But Ava's somebody that has just a really strong arm, very athletic, like I mentioned. Good. You don't see that much speed as a catcher, but she has tremendous speed on the bases, good power. I saw her hit a home run earlier this fall, which is exciting to see because I feel like I always miss those when other coaches come up and tell me that our recruits hit home runs. I guess I got a chance to see one this year. But Ava's going to be, I think, a great addition to our program. Great family, great student, so really excited to add her to the program. Ella Claus is from Redmond, Washington. Ella's a center fielder, lefty hitter, tons of power. Made the 19 and under Canadian junior national team, but due to all the COVID protocols, she wasn't able to go. The whole team wasn't able to go this past year. But Ella is interesting. Dave was talking about with his daughters, and then with his commitments that are twins. Ella's also a twin, so her sister's going to go somewhere else to play. Or actually not going to play, but she's going to go to another school as well. So it's kind of interesting because we haven't run across that a whole lot with our having recruiting twins and I guess going to different schools. But Ella's, again, very athletic, strong arm, lefty. Somebody that we feel can be in the middle of the field, center field here potentially. Good base stealer. Really excited about the things that she can add to our program as well. And then we have Bella Dean. Bella is a shortstop from Illinois. She plays for the Iowa Premier Travel Program. Just had a chance to watch her play this last weekend down in Georgia, and she's a shortstop, extremely athletic, strong arm, strong bat. She had a home run. I missed the home run, but I heard about a home run a couple weeks ago, about a 280-foot shot. Her coach was telling me about. Really looking forward to having her go out and just play in the middle of the infield because I saw a lot of great things last week from her. Huge upside. Plays in a very strong program. Had a lot of tough competition throughout the year. Has done really well. She played a lot of first base last year, but is very athletic, like I mentioned, and somebody we feel is going to be playing in the middle of the infield for us here in the future. And then Zoe King, she's a catcher, first baseman from Westminster, California. Zoe here, we just had on campus here a few weeks ago. Extremely high softball IQ. She just really understands the game. I think she's somebody we were talking to here. She'd actually rather watch a Dodger game at times, she said, than go hang out a little bit. So I think it's just the way that she knows the game and sees the game as a catcher, as an infielder, is just really exciting because you just look for that kind of leader on the infield as well. So very strong hitter, so something that we're looking forward to having Zoe in the lineup as well. And then Piper Reed, she's a pitcher from California as well. Her and Zoe are teammates, and they both won a national championship last year in the summer. The thing that's going to stick out for Piper that everybody's going to see is she's 6'4". So you're going to wonder, like, hey, who's this person? She's volleyball, she's basketball, and nope, she's on the mound. She's pitching for us, but Piper, huge upside. And the improvement I've seen from her, just in the fall from the summer, has been tremendous. And had a chance to watch her a couple of years ago when she was younger, before the whole COVID protocol hit, and that's something that really stood out. She's not somebody that's going to come in and blow it by everybody, but she's got great control of her pitches, tremendous mound presence, and just she's a winner out there. And all these kids have had tons of success. I mean, they're just some kids that are really we're excited about. A lot of them are very highly ranked in the country when it comes to recruits, and just kind of started looking at this stuff a little bit this year. Usually that stuff doesn't, I don't really pay attention to that a whole lot. You just kind of find, like Dave and Jen says, the same thing. You always look at the character first. You look at the academics. You look at those type of things. And these 5 young ladies are just going to be great additions to our programs, and could be more excited to add them as well. And then before I Jen, before I open it for any questions, I'd like to thank Jerice and Katie for all the work that they put in the summer, this fall. I know that we've been on the road a lot consistently, and just want to thank them for everything. So thank our support staff, and I guess actually thank our travel agent, because I think I'm on the phone with him constantly, changing flights and adding new flights. And then the last thing I'd like to say is, on a personal note, I'm very excited that Javis is coming here to play basketball. I'm looking forward to see Brittany and Latavis, so I'm really excited to see that work out for those guys as well. So, are there any questions?
Before we get in, because you brought him up, how did you feel approaching Dave Richmond with a suggestion in his recruiting class?
Well, I've known Britt, and I mean, obviously, she coached here forever. And talking with them, knowing the schools that he was looking at when they were living in California, that's the only reason probably why. I mean, I trust what Britt's going to say and Latavis are going to tell me a little bit, but there was, I mean, when you got Power 5 schools looking at you and taking visits, I figured this is somebody that we need to pass this information along.
Coach, you get presented with people all the time.
Oh, I know where Dave's coming from. Yeah, I mean, who am I to come up and say, hey, we got this guy. I mean, my 10th grade EDC basketball when I was in, back when I was in college, I guess that's probably my background. You got to trust that. We had a lot of success. We won the EDC that year. But it was really that. I mean, just knowing the family. He said, I mean, Javis doesn't remember me because he was about that tall when he was here, but just knowing and trusting what Britain was sending me, because I looked at the film as well, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know he's good. He looks good in here, but it was just something I thought, like I said, when you have the schools that she was telling me that he was visiting in when they lived in, because Britt was at Loyola Marymount, now she's at Texas Tech. So when she was at LMU, and just knowing who he was visiting and the looks that he was getting, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna pass it along, and just, hey, do with it what you want.
So now you get like dibs. I mean, Dave has to owe you, right?
No, I don't know about that. No, I said, I'm just excited to see them because I mean, I've been close with Brittany and her family since she's left here. Just talked to her dad a couple weeks ago. He's a big softball. He's a softball coach in Southern California. It's a great program. So just excited to see those guys.
How about your girls? Bringing these young women in. Gosh, you guys have high expectations in your program, certainly. But are you always is there a blueprint that you follow of like, I know what it takes to win, we've been there? Or are you pushing the envelope, looking for something different? What's that evolution of the program at this point?
Well, you saw what we did last year, right? So we got to do a little bit better. Oh, it was terrible last year, I'll be honest with you. So we need to get back, and we got to get back to that next level. I'm going to be perfectly honest. It was a bad year for us, and I'm not blaming anybody. I'm taking the blame for it, but we want to be at a high level. And so for us, when we look at it, we're going to be, we're looking for people that can come in here, and our goal is always to try to get back to a super regional, if not a World Series. I mean, JMU proved last year as a mid-major you can get to a World Series. And I think if for us as a program, that hasn't changed since we've done Division I. And so I think for us, that's something that we're constantly looking for and actually pushing for our student athletes once they get here as well, because we've proven that you can have that success. Like I said, JMU, there's other programs along those lines that have done that. So that's something that when we look, who we're going to add, there's always a lot of different pieces, but we're taking our time, probably a little bit more than we did, but that's our goal. That's what our expectations are for our program.
You have a 6'4" pitcher. Is that about as tall as you've ever had for a pitcher in your time?
Oh yeah.
How big? What else can there be for that with height?
Well, you get leverage because obviously coming up the mound a little bit as well. So you're going to get that coming up the circle. But I think other than that, it's just as she gets stronger, we feel like that she's going to add some velocity, because she's still gaining strength as she goes, in high school as well. But that's something that's kind of the upside we look at for Piper a little bit, because we know she has the accuracy in her pitches. We know she has the movement and those type of things. But just getting stronger, and I feel like for her as she gets older, those type of things can happen so you can get that velocity. And she's really the biggest thing for her. It wasn't so much even the height that you saw. It always catches your eye, of course. But I just thought her mound presence, though. I mean, nothing phases her. And she's just confident out there. And I thought when I've seen her pitch this fall, you can just tell there's just a different level. And even talk with her coach, he said there's just a different level of maturity when she's pitching. And that's something that's really stood out for us as well. All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.